welcome to Indic Insights. We might have all heard about the phenomena of Rahu and Ketu. In most of our minds, these terms are related to astrology and usually indicate a bad omen. In Hindu astrology, Rahu represents materialism, mischief, dissatisfaction and confusion, while Ketu has both positive and negative connotations, and it causes sorrow and loss, yet at the same time turns an individual to God. But what are Rahu and Ketu actually? Well, there are two perspectives, a mythological one and an astronomical one. Well, mythologically, they are two demons who are the sole enemies of sun and moon, while astronomically they represent a relatively complex topic known as lunar nodes, which are responsible for the eclipses. So let's dive deep into these videos and explore these perspectives. The story of Rahu and Ketu are clearly mentioned in the Puranas. The Devas had lost all their powers and fortunes due to a curse by Durvasha Muni. The Asuras thus defeated them and took over the Swargaloka. The Devas then approached Lord Vishnu for help. Lord Vishnu asked them to solve the matter diplomatically and approached the Asuras to ask them for their help in churning the ocean of milk to obtain the divine nectar or amrit, which would lead to immortality. During the Samudra Manthan, several divine objects came up, and finally came up the divine nectar or the amrit. Vishnu took the form of Mohini and took up the task for distributing the amrit between the Devas and the Asuras. She made them sit separately and was cunningly distributing the amrita only to the Devas. However, one of the Asuras by the name of Svarbhanu saw through these and sat among the Devas. The sun and the moon, however, spotted him and warned Mohini. Mohini took the form of Vishnu and cut his throat with the Sudarshan Chakra. However, by then the Asura had already taken the nectar and was thus immortal. His head came to be known as Rahu and his torso came to be known as Ketu. Ever since then, Rahu and Ketu have been chasing the sun and the moon for revenge, and they momentarily succeed in doing so during the solar and the lunar eclipse, and hence the eclipses are considered inauspicious among the Hindus. While this is a mythological story to explain the eclipses, Rahu and Ketu have an astronomical significance too. They are nothing but two imaginary points in space which we now call as lunar nodes. As we all know, the Earth goes around the Sun. However, from the point of view of Earth, that is, from a person standing on Earth and plotting the movement of the Sun every day, it would appear that the Sun is moving around the Earth. This apparent orbit of the Sun around the Earth is called ecliptic. Now, this ecliptic or the apparent orbit of the Sun around the Earth and the actual orbit of the Moon around the Earth do not lie on the same plane. That is, they have an angle of 5 degrees between them. These orbits intersect at 2 points, which are called lunar nodes. In our ancient texts, these lunar nodes are known as Rahu and Ketu. These 2 points are 180 degrees opposite to each other. These 2 lunar nodes can be considered imaginary planets which tend to move around the Earth along the ecliptic. In fact, our astrological texts precisely mention their period of revolution as 18 days. Just like the mythological story, even astronomically, the lunar nodes are directly responsible for the eclipses. When a new moon occurs in the lunar node, we have a solar eclipse, and when a full moon occurs in the lunar node, we have a lunar eclipse. Now, the concept of Rahu and Ketu can be traced back to as early as the Vedas. The Atharva Veda, the Chandogya Upanishads, and the Mahabharata attribute the cause of the eclipses to Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu, or the lunar node points, are themselves not fixed. They themselves appear to revolve along the ecliptic. Hence, they have been elevated to the status of planets in our astronomical charts. Our horoscopes accurately mention the period of revolution of Rahu and Ketu to be 18 days. Thus, they form the part of Navagraha in our astrology. Yes, the Navagrahas are not the 9 planets of our solar systems. They are the 9 planetary bodies that are used for astronomical purposes and include Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Rahu and Ketu. Uranus, Neptune and Pluto were not visible to the naked eye and were probably not known by the ancient Indians. With this, I come to the end of this video. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to check out our previous videos and connect with me on Instagram to give your valuable feedback. And I will see you in the next video.